everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, how are you? You keep continuing to give us the way that we can be tax-free at the end at retirement, how we can save money on our taxes throughout our lives. And you're giving such information that the financial institutions don't want us to know. Your accountant might not want you to know, or your current financial analyst, right, Alan?
That's exactly right, Neil. What I've learned in this past decade that just amazes me, the things that I've talked about should be taught in high school. The tax-free retirement, like insurance companies, in my opinion, in the opinion of people that are educated in this type of thing, is they have the best tax code approved tax-free retirement system available today with so many benefits. Tax-free distribution does not affect taxation of Social Security or the means testing of Medicare Part B, which will be in the thousands of dollars every year. Tax-free long-term care options. There's no stock portfolio that can do any of this other than a Roth, but the Roth stops at tax-free distribution and does not affect the taxation of Social Security or the means test of Medicare Part B. Because if you get, if you have long-term care and it costs anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 a year, it's going up every year, and you get it from a Roth, you have to take it from the principal. And then there's not that little. But with cash value life insurance, you pay pennies on the dollar for hundreds of thousands of dollars in protection. I mean, it's unbelievable the difference. But it's just about so many different things out there that when I hear people talk about things, I said, "Who told you this?" Well, my uncle. I said, "What's your uncle do?" Well, he's a truck driver. I said, "Well, what's he know about any of this?" Well, he heard from somebody. He heard from this guy's financial planner that annuities are bad. Well, I mean, that's just it. It's just like Ken Fisher Investments. He's a billionaire. He says all annuities are bad. You should invest with me. I have safe stock things to invest in. He has nothing he has that's safe. It's all stocks and bonds. But the thing is, they don't tell you the whole truth. But I mean, it goes on and on. And I was wondering if you got any questions for me.
Yeah, I was reading a financial magazine concerning annuities, and I came up with some questions about annuities. And some financial advisors are saying they would never sell an annuity. Are they grouping all annuities together?
Well, they obviously are. And they say they would never sell annuities. Well, first off, they call themselves fiduciary. And a fiduciary is supposed to be looking out for the client's best interest. Now, I'm a certified financial fiduciary. I've taken the courses and passed the test to get my certification. But I asked people, I said, okay, if your financial advisor is a fiduciary and he advises you against guaranteed income in retirement because he wants to make a fee on your portfolio, whether you make money or not, is he acting in your best interest or the best interest of his company and himself? Now, that's a big question people need to ask themselves. And the people, they group all annuities together. And there's three types of annuities. They're variable annuities, which I don't promote because they have very high fees and they're tied to the market. But I do promote fixed and fixed indexed annuities, which are going to give you guaranteed income for life. And it's just amazing about how many people I talk to include the financial advisors, that have no idea what I'm talking about. They say, well, I wouldn't. This one guy says, I would sell annuity if that's the last financial product on the world to sell to a client. Well, he's an idiot as far as I'm concerned because he's not educated. And it's not, as I told you before, Neil, it's not about return on investment when it comes to fixed and fixed index annuities. It's not about return on investment in retirement. It's about distribution of your assets. And the older you get, the higher the distribution rate is with the fixed and fixed index annuity. And I'll give you a perfect example of the power of a fixed and fixed index annuity. Now, I did a webinar on this some time ago. And what it is, let's say that you have $1 million in a stock portfolio. And it used to be a 4% distribution rate, was a safe distribution rate to last until age 90. Well, I structure all my plans to last past 100. That 4% distribution rate is now down to 2.8%. Well, let's take that 4%, that $1 million annuity, and let it make 6% net after fees over a 5-year period. Now that stock portfolio will be worth $1,388,000 in some $100. So $1.388 million. At a 4% distribution rate, that's 53%, or 53,000 and some dollars. Now, if you take certain annuities that I promote that are with mutual companies, that they owe their allegiance to the policyholders and not the stockholders, that's a big difference. But if you take that $1 million stock portfolio and put this into this annuity and have no gains in their indexing strategies, only guarantees from the insurance company, do you realize that you'll have an income that is guaranteed for the rest of your life at a single income of $81,989, and that's guaranteed. That's 53% more than what you're going to get out of a stock portfolio, and that's not guaranteed with a stock portfolio. And you have long-term care options with this also, and you have the advantage of possibly having gains when the indexing strategy goes up, but you'll never lose money due to a market downturn because you're not tied to the market. It's just things that people need to understand, especially in retirement when things are so important in the shape of our economy right now. It's eye-opening to people. I did a conference with a client or a couple last night, and everything I told them, I mean, their eyes are wide open. I've never heard of this before. Why hasn't my financial planner ever told me this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically because he doesn't know. He's not licensed, and he has a whole different realm of making money. He makes money in your stock portfolio whether you make money or not. And you're absolutely right. Wow. But some other questions you might have.
So, Alan, why should I buy an annuity for myself?
Well, each client is different, okay? But one of the most important things I look at when I put people into a fixed index annuity, how close are you to retirement? Now,
yeah, for me, I'll probably 65, 66, but I won't ever retire. But yeah, I'll just say retirement age. Yeah.
Okay, but if people are in their 50s or 60s or whatever, and they're getting close to retirement, this 60-40 blend of stocks and bonds is outdated. It's completely outdated. It's been outdated for years. But that's the crap that we've been listening to from Wall Street all the time. The 60-40 split, we can give you they can't give you guaranteed income. We'll give you guaranteed. I wish they would guarantee it, but they can't. We'll give you income through age 90. You have a 90% chance of surviving at 4%. Now that's down to basically a 65 to 75% chance of coming into fruition. And again, like I said, it's a 2.8% distribution rate that is up to about 90%. But with fixed index annuity, it's something that is guaranteed, and it's guaranteed by the insurance companies, and they're the most regulated industry in the world today, bar none. In order for an insurance company to write a $100,000 policy on you, Neil, they have to have $100,000 in their general account plus an 8% surplus. Well, all the companies I work with, and I work with several, but I like to work with mutual companies because they owe their allegiance to the policyholders and not the stockholders. But they all have over 100 to 150% surplus in their general funds. One of the things that people need to understand about why they should have the annuity, like I said, it has guaranteed income. And it's proven fact through Harvard. It's a study that Harvard did. If you have guaranteed income in retirement, you leave a much less stressful and a longer lifespan because you don't have to worry about the ups and downs of the markets. Mm-hmm. One thing I can do for people, I'm not going to make people rich, but I can make sure they can have a great retirement. And I tell people, I said, one thing about it, you may run out of assets, but you'll never run out of income, because it's all about income and retirement. It's not return on investment. And the thing when people say, well, they asked me, they said, well, what's your return on investment with this? I said, well, if you want a better return on investment, just live longer. But basically that's it too, because if you live longer, you're going to get a greater return on investment. And the thing is, people ask me, Alan, how can insurance companies guarantee this? I said, because insurance companies have it covered on both sides. If you die too soon with life insurance, and if you live too long, through mortality credits. And insurance companies are the only industry that can manufacture mortality credits. You can't do it with a stock portfolio. You cannot do it with A cash savings account, you cannot do it with a CD, you cannot do it with real estate. And the thing is, there's a city built in the United States, it's called Las Vegas, and it resembles, I think, insurance companies, because they only have to win 1% of the time, and they make billions of dollars. Well, insurance companies only have to win a percentage of the time, and they make billions of dollars. You could take a portion. Let's say that you have $1 million in a stock portfolio, okay? And we went and turned that into an annuity. All right. At 4% distribution rate, we'd only need 2/3 of that income to give you the same 4%, that $40,000 for $1 million, okay? We'd only need $650,000 in this certain annuity to give you the same $40,000 a year, and that's guaranteed. Now, Neil, that leaves at $350,000 there. So what you can do with that is there's a couple things. I have people, a new strategy that I've developed in the last month or so. You can buy a single premium whole life insurance policy through a mutual company. And let's say that you're 66 years old and you bought a $350,000 life insurance policy. Okay. Your death benefit is probably going to be around $700,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing you how to make your money work for you in 2 to 3 different ways. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn that $350,000, we're going to pay the taxes on that through the cash value of the life insurance policy. So we'll pay the taxes on that, and we're going to pay the taxes on the $700,000 or $650,000 annuity that we have now. And also, let's say that it costs $300,000 to pay all the taxes. Okay, and when they pay the taxes on that, and let's say they've done this over a 5-year period. Well, they put $350,000 originally in that whole life insurance policy. By law, with these companies and these certain insurance companies, they have to pay you dividends on the original $350,000. Okay, you've already used $300,000 of it, but they have to pay you dividends on $350,000. Now, you don't have to pay that loan back to the insurance company. It just comes off the death benefit. So think about this: you've got $300,000. You got a $700,000 death benefit, and let's say the interest, and I'm going to price it high, it's $50,000 for the time period. And when you pass away, you have $700,000 there minus the $350,000. So you've got another $350,000 that's tax-free and you can use for long-term care. It's tax-free to your beneficiaries. It's tax-free for long-term care. I'm making that $350,000 work for you in 2 to 3 different ways. And it's amazing when the light bulb finally goes on. My God, why haven't I done this before?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. What type of annuity do you think I should get?
Well, probably not so much a fixed annuity, because a fixed indexed annuity, because fixed annuities, they're going to give you a certain interest rate that's guaranteed. But a fixed indexed annuity, yeah, they've got certain interest rates that are fixed, but they also have indexing strategies. It's just like cash value life insurance. You're not going to lose money to the market. Now, what you do have, you'll have the cost of insurance with a life insurance policy. But, some of the people that tell me, well, fees on annuities are very, very high. I don't even like to discuss fees. I said, yeah, because it's variable annuities. They're very high. They're over 4%. And a 1% fee over a 30-year period will reduce your income by 30%. I said, some of these annuities that I sell have no fees on them. And here's a killer. When you start taking your income out, you still can get an increase in income on a decreasing asset. And even when that annuity runs out of money, you still get an increase in income. And if you need long-term care, Neil, if you need long-term care, the income that you're getting is doubled for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then if you're still alive after that, it goes back to what it was before with all the increases. And there's no fee for this annuity. There's other annuities, but when you have a fee for a fixed or fixed index annuity, Neil, it's because it provides a benefit. It may be a higher participation rate. As an example, the participation rate is 50% of whatever the indexing strategy does. Well, if you pay this fee for this indexing strategy participation rate, now it's not 50%, it's 150%. So it's a benefit.
Right.
It may raise the cap rate. Let's say the cap rate was 10% on this indexing strategy. Well, if you pay to uncap that, then now if the indexing strategy makes 20%, you're not capped at 10%, you're making 20%. And people don't understand this stuff. But the thing I love about insurance companies and fixed indexed annuities is the guarantees they offer people, especially in retirement. And they offer long-term care options that, and a death benefit in certain cases if your annuity performs year after year after year. You're not going to have that kind of performance with a stock portfolio. Now, you may have a great year or two in a stock portfolio, but look what's happening now. And what do you think taxes are going to do in the future?
They're going to keep going up as you.
They're going to keep going. We're in the lowest tax bracket we've been in 70 years.
Yeah.
And when I can take just 2/3 of the money at a 4% distribution rate and take the rest of that money and turn this fixed index annuity into a Roth, understand this. Now, because of the Secure Act, there's no such thing as a stretch IRA. Okay? You cannot will this to your grandson or your son. Right. You can, your spouse can take it over. There's a couple people that are disabled or something like that. But I had this one client. He was very wealthy, 65. He had $1 million in an IRA he did not need. And I said, what are you going to do with that? He said, well, I'm going to will it to my grandson. I said, well, you can't do that. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, first off, I think I pissed him off because I said, whose is that? He said, well, Alan, it's mine. There's my name right on the account. I said, you got to partner with this, Mr. Jones. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, at that time, he was in the 39.6% tax rate. That's before Trump. And I said, you got a partner. Let's say it's not 39.6, it's 40%. You just lost $400,000 of that $1 million. And that's just federal. That's not state. That's not AMT. That's nothing else. He says, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I said, when you reach 70 and a half, what about your required minimum distribution? He says, what do you mean? I said, if you don't take the amount of money that the government requires you out of your qualified plan, it's a 50% penalty plus all the taxes. Mr. Jones, you're going to be less worth. I mean, you're going to get less than 5% of your money. And he says, oh my God, what can we do? I said, well, you got to pay taxes on it. Well, I don't want to pay tax. I said, nobody wants to pay taxes. But we're in the lowest tax rates we've been in 70 years. We'll take $200,000 a year for 5 years. And when you're 70 years old, now that'll be tax-free. It'll start building up again because the market always comes back ever since its inception. And think about this. Think about how much money is going to be in that IRA that's going tax deferred or tax deferred, and you get your distribution tax-free when you pass away, when your son passes away, and finally when your grandson takes that money. It's going to be in the millions and millions of dollars. People need to understand how taxes affect them, because I don't think they're taking the whole thing into context about the cost of taxes. And I read a Congressional Budget Office report here a couple months ago that by 2030, taxes are going to have to go up 66% across the board just to pay the interest on our national debt.
Wow.
And that's just unbelievable.
Alan, when you start talking about all these pluses, the thing I hear from people is, about annuities, especially, hey, you should get an annuity, is a lot. Some advisors say that annuities are way too expensive. Why is that not true?
Well, way too expensive because compared to what? I had this argument with Ken Fisher, and when I wrote back to him, I said, we're paid a commission, okay? In his report, he said we're paid commissions up to like 14% or something. That's bull. I'm paid anywhere from 2 to 8% in commission fees. That's paid from the insurance company directly to me. It's not taken out of the client's assets. And I told him, I said, if you have a 1% fee over a 7-year period, you're going to be paid more than I'll ever be paid. And you keep managing those fees, and you make money whether the client makes money or not. So don't go there and tell me that commissions are, they have this commercial on TV now, Ken Fisher Investments. We don't do commission products. We're fiduciaries. We structure our products to make more money when the client does. Well, the thing they forget to tell you, we also make money when the client doesn't. And think about this. Let's say that you have a stock portfolio, and here's another thing with annuities, especially if you have no fees. Okay. the management fees. Once you have an annuity with no fees, you have no management fees. Think of
Right.
the management fees over a 20, 30-year period.
Mhm.
It's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And people don't take that to account because they've been brainwashed by Wall Street.
Wow. It's just an amazing thing, Alan, that you talk about this way of thinking. And we talked about another product about life insurance products and how they really can help in specific ways. We talked about how you do a balanced portfolio and you really look at things in many different ways. And where's the best place people can find information on you, learn more about you?
Well, I'd like to bring one more thing up before I say that. You know, there's risk in retirement. There's 18 risks I can think of right off the top of my head. But one of the major things is sequence returns risk. And if you have a loss in the market in your stock portfolio, and that's where you're getting your money from, in the 6th or 7th or 8th year, you're going to run out of money, because what happens is you're taking money from a depleting asset. And instead of having that loss in the first 3 years to the last 3 years of a 10-year period, if it's in the later time, you're not going to have any problem. But the problem is, I've never heard of any financial planner telling any of my clients about sequence returns risk. They don't address longevity risk, which is a risk multiplier. And annuities can take care of the number one risk in retirement. That's the number one fear in retirement, is running out of money before you run out of life. There's no other product out there that can do that.
All
But
right. Yeah.
to get in contact with me, my name's Alan Porter. Up here to the right, strategicwealth0@gmail.com. That's STRATEGICWEALTH, the number 0 @gmail.com, or call me anytime, 910-551-1046. Now, Neil, I'm very passionate about this. You know I'm passionate about, how I got in this business. And my biggest thing is education of people. My goal, both professionally and personally, is protection of the family and protection of their assets.
Well, we appreciate it, Alan. It was such great information again, and what a great show.
All right. Well, thank you for having me once again, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Absolutely. That was Strategic Wealth Strategies, guys. Take care.